What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to spray a product called Lizard Skin. So the underneath of my floor pan on my 66 Volkswagen Fastback was painted base coat, clear coat black. And the inside needs to be lizard skinned. I primed some repair areas, never mind that. I did our black up into the mating surface where the body's gonna go. I have to mask this all off, and then I'm gonna shoot some lizard skin. Now there's two lizard skin products. There's a sound deadener and there is a heat control. I'm only gonna use the sound deadener for this application, but just for reference, at the end of the video and right now, I'm going to put me knocking on the floor pan to show the difference in the sound deadening. So let's check that out. So guys, this is our gallon of lizard skin. It was about $100 on Amazon. It is the Lizard Skin Sound Control. Spray your way to a cooler and quieter ride. Now, they do sell a lizard skin specific spray gun. I decided to do a Harbor Freight hack with this siphon feed gun. I read somewhere that the lizard skin spray gun is a 2.4 millimeter tip, and this spray gun was a 1.7. So what I did is I drilled the tip with a 3/32 drill bit, which when you convert to millimeters is 2.38 millimeters. So very close in size. So we'll see how it works. I'll let you know if this hack was worth doing or if it's worth spending the $100 for the spray gun. This is a water-based product, so if you spill any on the floor, you could just wipe it up with water. I got cardboard so I don't spill it all over my bench here. We're gonna mix it for about 2 minutes with the drill. They recommend that you put the drill in reverse and on its lowest speed. And I always recommend wearing a 3M face mask or any brand at that rate. Protect your lungs, guys. But we're gonna see how this product works out, and I'll let you know how the first coat goes. So I went ahead and mixed this with the drill for 2 minutes as recommended. The instructions are on the back and the label is on the front. Just repeating what the guy from Lizard Skin said in his video. It's probably best to pour it on the label side so you don't get it all over your instructions. I'm also using these liners from Harbor Freight. They're a 10-pack for $1, so for 10 cents, why wouldn't I make cleanup easier? But being that this is a water-based product, you basically just clean your spray gun with water. Another thing I recommend doing is buying a paint thickness gauge. Each coat, you got to do 2 coats. Needs to be about 20 mils. I didn't buy the gauge, but my father engraved the 20 mil thickness gauge for me. Primitive, but for a last minute ditch effort, it works. So buy that gauge, make your life a little easier. So we're not yet dry past 1 hour, but I do notice that this product sprays in this more shiny dark gray, almost like a dark primer sealer. But when it gets dry, it almost has this olive drab sort of dark tone to it. So I'm probably gonna wait until it looks consistent across the whole floor pan. This bottom floor pan was a replacement floor pan, and this top one was OEM. I ended up doing some patchwork on it, and it did have that tar board that Volkswagen put on from the factory that I had to peel off and scrape off. So I'm curious if one will have a different sounding knock than the other, but we will see. So my first coat is completed, and I want to describe a few things for you. I believe I said a few minutes past, and I will correct myself, that Lizard Skin's recommendation for 1 coat is 3 passes. You start left to right, up and down, and then left to right. I believe it's wet on wet coat, meaning one right after the other. That's how the guy in the Lizard Skin video did it. That's how I did it. And that is 1 coat. I will tell you about this Harbor Freight gun. Let me just say that I'm never going to blame the product or the tool, but this is, I would say, the wrong tool for the job. Did I get it to work? Yes. Would it work as good as the lizard skin gun? That I'm not sure of because I don't have that gun. Will I probably end up buying that gun for future uses? Absolutely. Like I said, I had to drill this tip out. It was a 1.7 millimeter tip, and I ended up drilling it to a little under 2.4 millimeters. But aside from that, the air holes on this cap also don't really help to atomize this material and make it very sprayable. So Lizard Skin recommends spraying between 40 to 70 psi. I found that 40 psi worked well, but being that this pickup tube would get clogged and the air nozzles would get clogged, in between my few passes on the first coat, I was taking this thing apart and cleaning it, and it took me about 15 minutes to adjust it before material even came out. Being that I have experience using spray guns, I used that knowledge to help me adjust this thing rather than assuming it didn't work and getting aggravated. But I basically had to do the air wide open, the fluid needle adjustment so it could open wide open, and this fan pattern wide open, a very wide pattern. So that's how I got it to work. And another thing I've seen on forums, same forums that suggested the cheap Harbor Freight gun, but Lizard Skin does not recommend, is cutting it or diluting it with water. Yes, this is a water-based product. If I had to guess a ratio, I probably diluted it less than 5%. I just took a small cup of water to my 32-ounce fluid canister here full of Lizard Skin, and I had to use my drill mixer to mix it to make it thin enough for this gun to spray. Would I have run into these problems with the Lizard Skin gun? That I'm not sure of. I don't have the gun. I've never used the gun. Do I plan to eventually buy it? I think I will, because I do think that this product is working out well. But enable for me to get my 20 mils thickness, I ended up having to do 4 passes for one coat as opposed to 3 because the stuff was thinned down. So I'll probably end up doing 6 passes, I think, and able to get the recommended 40 mils, a little bit above that Lizard Skin recommends. So at the end of the day, I'm not blaming the product or the tool. This is more user error. I knew what I was getting into not using the right tool for the job, but we're gonna make it work. I'll just mention quickly too that I took the time to take the gun apart and clean it with both water and acetone, just like it was a water-based spray gun. I know it's not too pretty on the outside, but internally it's all cleaned up. The pickup tube, the nozzles, the tips, everything's all clean. That way I can't blame the spray gun for not working next time I go to use it. All in all, I'm very pleased with the end product and would recommend this to anyone restoring a vintage Volkswagen Pan or someone looking for some interior sound deadening in other vehicles. Thanks for checking my review.